SharePoint technology and Facebook and LinkedIn and slam them all together. If you could create your own private world where you as a group could get things done. And that intrigued me because I was all about helping people get things done. So I'm like, okay, let's find the players out there who are making things happen online and give them this tool. So I just started hitting the largest Facebook groups, the largest Yahoo groups, anybody that was pulling people together and say, hey, are you getting anything done? Could you be getting any more done? That's how we bumped into each other. You're doing your umbrella circuit syndicate thing.
Well, it was actually before that. It was the perfect
Clap,
networker.
3, 4, 1, clap, 3, 4.
You
But
almost
then we
want
get
to. You almost want to see Rob Bass. It takes
Rob
two.
Bass, here you go. It takes two. But then you get things like here's the clapping on the 1 and 3 can be a little bit tricky. So you go clap 2, clap 4, clap 2. But the
Mhm.
punchline is when you hit the dance floor, always
The kind
clap.
of dude that says, and like Elvis showed up when no one predicted. He would just say, "You need a car? I'm going to hook you up." Or
Are we talking Presley or Costello? Who are we talking
Presley.
about?
By the way,
Okay.
Presley, but
Okay.
Costello was cool too. I'm sure. I'm sure Costello was cool. But Post Malone's been on some podcasts where the host of the podcast is saying, "I can't believe you're here," and that's someone that just says, "I want to be connected." It could be more, but your goal is to wake up one person. I just want to acknowledge you for that. It's a very big score.
Well, I think that's a very nice compliment. There's another thing that if you're the kind of person that goes out there and you're kind and you have the desire to have a positive impact or help people do whatever they're trying to do, you have impact on people's lives that you'll never see.
Nope.
Never see. I've had people come up to me and say, "Oh man, remember that time you did that?" And I don't even remember. It's the biggest thing ever happened. I don't even remember. And sometimes it'll just open the door for.
Welcome to the Dr. Smiley Show. And guess what? Shaun Callihan smiled first before the show. I just got to give him credit. And by the way, Shaun, you're one of my heroes. I mean, of all the years I've known anybody, you are consistently about smiles, having fun, causing people to really wake up and say, you know what? Life is a beat. And it's a beat that can be fun. And I'm going to go right to your book that you did, because that book is not only genius, but the guy that actually inspired you to do it. I just want to bring it out in the front of the show, how important it is to acknowledge someone that wakes you up in the world. So, Shaun, welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. Good to be here. The guy that inspired me, all praise Kinderman, John Taylor, John Kinderman Taylor. This guy, if you did not experience John Kinderman when he was on this earth, you missed something. But I actually experienced John Kinderman Taylor before he was John Kinderman Taylor. Back in high school when disco was the thing, and I got my little dance partner, we're dancing around town. I go to a dance contest at Laverty's, a club in Catonsville, Maryland. And one of the judges was Disco John Taylor. He was the disco king, teaching everybody how to do the TikTok hustle. Disco died, and this friend of mine, John Taylor, said, I got to reinvent myself. So he came up with this idea of doing dance and exercise and doing aerobics. And he had a friend named Oprah Winfrey who lived in Baltimore. And Oprah said, John, you're the best. When I make it big, I'm going to take you with me. Oprah leaves, goes to Chicago, and finds Richard Simmons and blows Richard Simmons up, and unfortunately forgot about her friend John Taylor. And John Taylor says, "Uh-oh, I gotta reinvent myself." So John Taylor comes back out as the Kinderman, and he started teaching kids rhythm and movement, and he would say, "Friends, friends, 1, 2, 3. All my friends are here with me." And it blew kids' minds. He would teach Head Start teachers across the country how to do this. And when he passed, I'm like, I've got to do something to mark this guy. And that's that, and to pay homage to him. And that's when I wrote this little book called Clap on the 2 and 4. Because I'm like, this has John Kinderman Taylor all over it because he made those kids move and love moving, and they loved him, and he was the best.
Well, the back wall that you have is 20 years of getting ready for the show. Kinderman, I mean, dude, you recognize someone who had impact and you brought them to the forefront. You cared about their legacy. And the fact that Oprah was part of the scene, I mean, what an intro to the show. So we're going to back up a bit. So Shaun Callihan wasn't always this amazing, happy, successful, could point in all directions of people he knows that are making the world move in the right direction. You were born as a little baby.
as we all were.
So, where were you born?
Born in Fort Meade Army Hospital,
No
right
kidding. So
here in
you got
Maryland.
you.
Yeah.
So your parents were well, one of your parents was military.
My father did an enlisted stint as a lab technician. That was it. But
Well,
it was the time that I came around.
well, no one. I don't think anyone's ever heard this before, but I'm going to say it on the air.
Hit
My
me.
dad didn't get the colonel's list. He was a major, and his wonderful reward was being a warrant officer in his last 3 years of his army, and he got assigned to Fort Meade for his
For
last.
me, look at that.
So, what year were you? Did you go to Fort Meade High School?
No, no, no. I had no connection. I only know that because it's on my birth certificate. I never
Okay.
saw my father in uniform. I was born in 1963. My birth certificate says Fort Meade, Maryland, because he still had benefits, and
Yeah.
that was kind of it. We grew up in Uplands, which is West Baltimore, kind of equidistance between Irvington, where Mount St. Joe is, and Edmondson Village,
Hmm.
and that was always home, a Baltimore row house.
So you grew up in a very positive environment, obviously. Well, that's my assessment based on how much you create in the world that's positive.
I grew up in a positive environment because I won the womb roulette. My mom was the best. And I had a great dad, but my mom was the best. They got divorced when I was 10, so I grew up with my mom. But anybody that knows my mom knows that she was what it was all about. There was never a time that we thought that we weren't allowed to have fun. No matter what the financial situation, no matter whatever, her getting the divorce, fun and play was always on the scene.
You know, you're probably one of the oldest, not in humanity years, but in the fact that when I came to Fort Meade and I came to be awakened as to what you can do with your life beyond Maryland, you are someone that was playing really big. And this is, I want to say we met in 2010-ish. I don't know if that's true. And I'm not talking about it physically. I'm talking about in the internet. We met because you were with a company that was Connect. It was is a Connect type of.
We started off as Collective X.
Yes.
We regrouped ourselves as groupsite.com.
Yeah.
And the idea was imagine if you took SharePoint technology and Facebook and LinkedIn and slammed them all together. If you could create your own private world where you as a group could get things done. And that intrigued me because I was all about helping people get things done. So I'm like, okay, let's find the players out there who are making things happen online and give them this tool. So I just started hitting the largest Facebook groups, the largest Yahoo groups, anybody that was pulling people together and say, hey, are you getting anything done? Could you be getting any more done? That's how we bumped into each other. You're doing your umbrella circuit, syndicate
Okay.
thing.
Well, it was actually before that. It was the Perfect Networker, and
Yep, you're right. You're right. You're right.
well, my point is, had I been on your team, I would be better off. But my team was combined LinkedIn, Facebook, and Match.com. Mine was how do you create an AI version of connecting with people that need what you have and want to connect you to people that need what you have. And real simple stuff. But I was an amateur at the highest level. I mean, I thought $100,000 was a lot of money, and you need a
$100,000 still is a lot of money, brother.
it is, but I think in the task I was at, I think I needed at least 2 or 3 million to get that thing off
Oh, as far as resources, it's never enough. But as far as what you need to get by the day, it's plenty enough. You can never have enough resources.
So you had a we had lunch the other day, and it was I mean it was just amazing, and I just want to say thank you. You always make time for your friends, and you make time for your family. You make time for people that
Clap on the two and four.
yeah. And by the way, you're in three bands.
I'm technically in two bands full time,
Hmm.
and I have a third band that I drop into every chance I can because they're the bomb.
So talk.
I play percussion. I call myself I have rhythm, but I don't call myself a musician because to me, you got to be playing an instrument that needs to stay in tune to be a musician. And when you're banging those stuff, you're just a percussion guy. But I play percussion with the Naptown Brass Band. We're playing New Orleans funk music out of Annapolis, which is amazing. I play with Fair Dinkum, which means the real deal in Australia. It's a colloquialism in Australia. And we're like the Fells Point dive bar scene, everything from Cab Calloway to Talking Heads. And then every time I can, I drop in with Rufus Roundtree and the Be More Brass Factory because you do not get funkier than that in Baltimore. If you don't know them, you need to check them out. Rufus Roundtree and the Be More Brass Factory.
So I did not want to do this show until after I got back from Cali because I went to an event and I met Ray Parker Jr.
Nice.
I met the
Who you gonna
keyboardist.
call?
Yeah, the keyboardist of Toto. I did not meet Eddie Money, but he was at the event, and
Okay.
I mean that from a standpoint. I don't know if he was really approachable.
Okay.
But I met all these musicians, and it was just so cool because musicians that make it, I think they change the world,
Oh, absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
sometimes they change it in a bad way, but mostly they change it to wake you up, like your spirit's alive. And I wanted to do this show after I got back because Toto is an amazing group. Ray Parker, when he was in his prime, I mean, he still is. I mean, if you look at his social, he's actually doing really good things in the world.
Good for him.
And I just can't speak enough to my 40 years before I met you was me being a DJ. And yes, I am 98 years old. So your book is not just genius, it is every day I wake up and my family looks at me and they say, "Why are you so sad?" And I go, "Because I didn't get to publish that book. It's genius."
I don't know about that, but
No, it is genius. It's genius because so many people say, "I got it." And by the way, the smarter they are in the music scene, the more they get how important it is.
yeah, it's funny. The way I present it, so shameless plug,
Please, no,
clap
not
on the
just
two and
shameless.
four.
Hold it up. Hold it up. Yes.
Clap on the two and four. So a musician sees that and they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Some people are saying, "What are you talking about?" Most Western music, R&B, gospel, of jazz, is based in 4/4 time. One, two, three, four. Boom, boom, boom. Ray Parker, Jr., who you going to call? Ghostbusters. 2, 3, 4. Right, and there's a thing called the downbeat and there's the backbeat. The downbeat is the one and the three. The backbeat is the two and the four. And it's a thing that came up with rock and roll. It came up with jazz. And if you are a musician, you know that that backbeat is where you clap. And people say, "I don't have rhythm. I don't have rhythm." The most brilliant participatory song ever made is "We Will Rock You" by Queen.
No doubt.
And
And
no
that
one
movie
ever
was
claps.
amazing.
No one ever claps at the wrong time. It's boom, boom, clap, boom. Everybody gets it, right? Doesn't matter what your background. But think what's happening. It's one and two, three and four. One and two. Now, if you clapped when the bump was, you'd be going boom, boom, clap, boom, boom, clap. That's the one and three. That's the downbeat, which is old Germanic, European, classical. There's all kind of beats you can play. That's all good, but when we're clapping together, when we come together and we're doing this thing, that's the place to be. And that's why I didn't even really write the book. I just put some pages around a thing that just is.
Open a couple pages.
So we start off with clapping on the one is lots of fun. So you go clap, 2, 3, 4, clap, 2, 3, 4. When you move it
Now, how did
along,
you know that one and fun was a rhyme? I mean, that's
as long as I had to rhyme with orange or purple, I'd be okay. Clapping on the two, something you can do. One, clap, 3, 4. One, clap, 3, 4.
you
But
almost
then we
want to
get
you
tricky.
almost want to see Rob Bass. It takes
Rob
two.
Bass, here you go. It takes two. But then you get things like here's the clapping on the one and three can be a little bit tricky. So you go clap, 2, clap, 4, clap, 2. But the
Mhm.
punchline is when you hit the dance floor, always clap on the 2 and 4. So it's one, clap, two, clap, one, clap. And I say that there's enough big things in this world that divide us. The beat we clap on should not be one of them.
And music is the universal language.
Music is the universal language.
I met the gentleman from Three Dog Night,
Nice. One of my favorites.
Frank Negron, I think it is, and he had the song "One."
Actually, not his song. It's a cover.
No kidding.
I found this out within the last 60 days. Harry Nielsen, you put the lime in the coconut and drink
Yep.
them up. That's the
Nice.
original one. Three
No
Dog Night
kidding.
covered him. Isn't that unbelievable?
It is unbelievable, man. You schooled me just now.
I heard this song. I'm like, this is a great little cover. I like Three Dog Nights better, but who's doing this cover? I looked it up. I'm like, Snap. It's the original. There you go.
Neil Diamond did some things that didn't make it in his time, but it made it later in
Red
covers.
Red Wine,
Yeah.
UB40, right?
Yeah. Heck yeah. I was about to do another
Heck
one.
yeah. You're gonna get back to your Three Dog Night story, but in my home, there's a couple seminal albums that existed in our collection that influenced my mom's collection. Three Dog Night, Carole King, Donovan. Three Dog Night was in there, man. That song got major play from being about 4 years old to 8 years old. That's what I was listening to, man.
What else?
What else? And I mentioned the divorce. So in home we had Carole King, we had Three Dog Night, we had
Chicago?
George
Divorce?
Benson, Chicago. When I got in the car with my father, he's playing 8 tracks. So we had Creedence Clearwater Revival, Cosmos Factory. We had Steppenwolf. We had Janis Joplin's Pearl. So I was getting it from all different angles. But my mom also brought in Earth, Wind, and Fire
Mm,
and Ramsey Lewis. So we got
nice.
that going on.
Wow. The best concert I ever saw was Earth, Wind, and Fire in Chicago. Best.
Earth, Wind, and Fire is the best. The
No, but
best.
the two of them together because they fed each other.
The two who together?
Chicago and Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh, I thought you said you saw Earth, Wind, and Fire in Chicago. I'm like, the two of them. Who are you talking about? No, Chicago. In my high school days, Chicago was one of my regular things. They always came to Meriwether Post Pavilion,
Hmm.
and every time they came, I would go. It's like it's just to have this many musicians on stage, all in sync, doing their thing. It blew my mind. I love Chicago.
So we're going to divert to something that's not predictable. You ready
Hit
for
me.
this? You know who I want to meet in the music scene more than anything?
Talk to me.
Post Malone.
How so?
I think he's the real deal, like 7 levels deep. Like everyone loves him, and everyone loves him that's known him, and everyone loves him that works for him, and everyone loves him because they never have seen him not be loved.
Hmm.
And I'm very impressed with his ability to connect with people. He does shows on podcasts, not mine yet, but I hope he sees this and says, I'll do yours. But
Come on, post up, post.
well, we're gonna go to a couple of your new recent Instagram. But my point is, he's the kind of dude that says, and like Elvis showed up when no one would predict it. He would just say, "You need a car? I'm going to hook you up." Or
Are we
he's
talking
like,
Presley or Costello? Who are we talking
Presley.
about?
By the way,
Okay,
Presley, but
okay.
Costello was cool too. I'm sure. I'm sure Costello was cool, but Post Malone's been on some podcasts where the host of the podcast is saying, "I can't believe you're here," and that's someone that just says, "I want to be connected to the world. Just connected to be cool." So, Fat Boy.
There's times when you hear music for the first time and you're like,
Yeah.
you remember where you were. A friend of mine, Robert Ellen, I was in his house and he had some CDs. He had a CD. I said, "What's this? Fat Boy Slim. What's this?" He goes, "You don't know Fat Boy Slim?" And he put Fat Boy Slim CD in. And I'm like, how have I been snoozing on this? This is like everything I'm about. It's
Yeah.
sampling, it's dance oriented, it's funk, it has a sensibility across genres. I'm like, Fatboy Slim is my man. So when I wrote this book, one of my goals was to get it in the hands of as many major players in the music industry, mainly because I knew they understand what it was about, and also to think that someone who had been influenced to the world with their music might have a young kid on their knee
Right.
sharing my little book. That was a win. That was it. So one of those people happened to be Fatboy Slim. I hit everybody. Harry Connick. I hit everybody in the world. But one of my moves was I literally just went on Instagram, followed all the people that I was trying to get the book to. And if they had their messages open, now having their messages available doesn't mean that they're reading them.
Hmm.
It could be nobody's reading them. It could be a team of 5,000 interns are reading them, or it could be that they spend time and they see it, right? Needle in a haystack, who knows? But all I sent to Fatboy Slim was, I've written a children's book called Clap on the 2 and 4 to help parents start talking about rhythm to their young kids. I would love to get you a copy. How do I make that happen? 15 minutes later, I'm intrigued. Here's my address in Brighton Beach in England. I'm like, come on, man. I'm talking to Fat Boy Slim. So I put a book together. I get out of the post office. I fill out the customs declaration all to get it over to overseas. And that was it. So I wait 2, 3, 4 weeks, crickets, nothing, who knows. All of a sudden, I get a ping, and it's a message from Fatboy Slim sending me a video of him reading the book with his daughter, who, by the way, he calls Fat Girl Slim.
Nice.
His daughter, and the daughter's clapping. So he was clapping on the one, she's going clap too. Meanwhile, her boyfriend's doing a beatbox with him. So you see the daughter and the boyfriend, and you see Fatboy Slim's hand. And he goes, clapping on the one. That's fun. And I'm like, this is the best thing ever. I'm kind of done.
Yeah.
This is it, right? So I'll put one out there that I'm manifesting that hasn't happened yet, but I'll put it out there. Why not?
Well,
Um, Go ahead, talk to me,
no,
man.
no, no, no. I have something to compliment this when you're finished. Go
Please,
ahead.
so 3 weeks ago, that was a year and a half ago when I hit Fatboy Slim. Three weeks ago, I had a dream that Fatboy Slim and David Byrne from Talking Heads turned my book into a dance track.
Yeah.
And I woke up, I'm thinking, I gotta make this joint happen. So here's how the story goes. They did a Broadway show together. Fatboy Slim and David Byrne did a Broadway show. And someone asked the editor of Pitchfork magazine, what do you think of the collaboration between David Byrne and Fatboy Slim? And he said, David Byrne will collaborate with anyone for a bag of Doritos. And David Byrne read that, in fact, included in his book how music is made, and it'll collaborate with anyone with a bag of Doritos. So I said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I took an image, and I had an image of Fatboy Slim. I photoshopped him holding a bag of Doritos. I took a copy of my book. I took out this little graphic down here, and I added featuring Fatboy Slim and David Byrne and Fatboy Slim. And I had a picture of Fatboy Slim pointing to it. And I shot that image via Instagram to Fatboy Slim and David Byrne. David Byrne doesn't know me from the man on the moon. 3 seconds later, my friend Fatboy Slim says, question mark, how bizarre. And I said, how do we make this a reality? Here's my vision. And I type a little thing out, and he says, that's so bizarre because I've been spending all weekend learning dance steps to a dance routine for David's wedding this weekend in New York, including counting out 1, 2, 3, 4. He says, is DB signed up for this? And I'm like, I haven't hit DB. Yeah, I sent him a message, but I don't have anything. I don't know how to reach him. I would love to find a way to send him a copy of my book for his wedding. He says, would a postal address help? He gives me David Byrne's home address. I then go into Photoshop. I take a bag of actual Doritos and I redo the front cover to be my pitch. And 2 days ago, I just sent out a bag of Doritos to David Byrne and a bag of Doritos to Fatboy Slim to make this thing a reality. So stay tuned. Once David Byrne gets off tour with his new album, which is awesome, by the way, I'll check it out. We might have Clapping on the 2 and 4 12-inch single coming to a record store near you.
That's amazing. And by the way, thank you for sharing the story. I mean, I heard this live about a week or two, well, 2 weeks ago at lunch. Did you see Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie?
I saw Bohemian Rhapsody the movie, and what I thought was a cool idea. We saw it at the Parkway Theater, and it was done as a sing-along. So they had all the lyrics
No
underneath it. So
kidding.
besides being an awesome movie, we're like, this is gonna be great. One problem. You can't really sing Queen. You think you can. When you're in the bathroom, you think you can. But when you're trying to go with Freddie Mercury, I mean, there's just notes that cannot be hit. So it was not. We Will Rock You was great. Everything else was like, we can't sing at all. We don't know. We're willing, but we're just not able.
You know, We Will Rock You. There's some mashups of it that will get a crowd going nuts on the dance floor. That's one. Number two, I played Bohemian Rhapsody out of my 3,000 weddings I've done. I've only played it maybe 2 or 3 times during dinner. Holy, holy heck.
Wow. Wow. During dinner. Interesting move. I like
Well,
it.
it wasn't a move. It was actually the brides telling me a little clue. They love Queen. And I said, I can't fit this in later. Or they want it during a dance set. Now, dance set, it always goes crazy. But I'm telling you, during dinner, it changed the whole element of how enjoyable dinner.
That's wow. So a quick Queen story. I uh got tickets invited to see Queen at Merriweather recently, and Freddie's gone, right? So they've got
Right.
Adam Lambert from American Idol.
No
So I'm
kidding.
like, how the heck does this even going to happen? He crushed it. It was
I know.
and he crushed it because he wasn't trying to be Freddie Mercury. He was paying
Right.
homage to Fred. It was a nod to Freddie Mercury. At one point,
Yep.
they did a duet with Freddie on video and him, and he absolutely crushed it. It was amazing. So if you have a chance to see Queen with Adam Lambert, go do it.
So you're telling me that Nat King Cole and Natalie Cole will be a little jealous?
Yes, yes. What a brilliant move, right? Come on, that's so good. That's so good.
So I got something for you. I guess now you did a shameless plug, but it wasn't a shameless plug because that's what I wanted to show. I wanted to show that that book is genius. So I'm going to show
That
you
book, by the way,
something
this is the shame. That book, by the way, is for sale at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So how cool is that? I'm in the
that,
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Come on, bam.
dude, I threw your book in the Library of Congress. It's in the Library of Congress too. You got to find it. So I got someone I want you to meet later. Okay. I'm going to introduce you.
Okay,
I think he's got a book that could be a song. That's
hit me.
weird, isn't it? A book that could be a song. All right, here we go. This guy, he is a master chief in the Navy, retired, but he wrote a book called I Want What You Got, and it's blowing up. I'm telling you, people that see the book buy it like that because it's about this. Look at this. What's missing in the world? Gratitude, compassion, empathy, and kindness. And what happened, Shaun, is he went into a hospital, and this is a guy that was hiring me for a totally different project. I said, you should do a children's book because you are a fun guy. You're just really fun. And he went to a hospital, and the nurse there, he said, how are you doing? And she goes, oh my God, having a really stressed day. I'm very, very, very difficult day. And she goes, how are you doing? He goes, I'm always doing great,
Mm, mm.
always doing great. And that sounds like you because you're positioning yourself to do great and be great. It doesn't mean that you didn't have a problem ever. It just means that you position yourself to do great and be great. And she goes, I want what you got. And he literally called me after the thing. He
I
says,
want what you got. There it is. I
and
want what you just made the
you,
quote book, brother. I
yeah,
want
but
what you got.
guess here's what I threw at him, and I'm throwing at you live.
Go.
I think it's Redbone. I think it's Redbone type of thing. Come and get your love. I want what you got.
I
And I'm
want what
telling
you
you,
got. It's
he's
good.
predicting a hip hop artist will read this book, just like you're talking about Fatboy Slim.
Hmm.
Like this is all relevant, is my point,
No, I
Sean.
got it. I got
Okay.
it. I want what you
And
got.
I think I'm going to introduce you to him because it's not that it's your second book, but it could be. In that you can take any phrase and put it onto
By
to
the way, I know you crank out books like a madman. I'm good. They said there are three ways to be immortal. Have a child, plant a tree, write a book. I've done all three. I'm good.
well, can I tell you my favorite thing about not just our lunch, but about you?
Hit me.
It's big actually. Is that you say if I have one person that I can give this book to and it makes their day, I'm good. Like that. That's what you did at lunch 3 times. And what I got is it is completed to your core, to the core. You
That's it.
just want people to be alive. And if you wake up one person a day, and that's people don't realize that if you don't wake up one person a day, you could spend your whole life not waking up anybody. But you do one day, one wake up, and it could be more, but your goal is to wake up one person. I just want to acknowledge you for that. It's a very big score.
Well, I think that's a very nice compliment. There's another thing that if you're the kind of person that goes out there and you're kind and you have the desire to have a positive impact or help people do whatever they're trying to do, you will have impact on people's lives that you'll never see.
Nope.
Never see. I've had people come up to me and say, "Oh man, remember that time you did that?" And I don't even remember. It's the biggest thing ever happened. I don't even remember. And sometimes it'll just open a door for someone who's never had a door open for them, or whatever it may be. And a lot of the things you don't see, and you don't need to see. You don't need to get credit for it. But every once in a while, when you see it happening, we spent the winter in Thailand. I'm in Chiang Mai, Thailand. I see this grandfather who must be in his 70s or 80s running around with his kids. And in Thailand, there's not a lot of very expressive, emotive. I mean, everything's very, very nice and kind and sweet, but not a lot of dancing and let your hair down. And this grandfather was chasing his kids around. I'm like, that's my man right there. And I walked up, I said, Sabri Krab, and I gave him a copy of the book. And then I left and I look back and he's there looking through the book with his kids. And I was just like, boo, I could see it happening. So I didn't need the credit. I didn't need the spotlight, but I saw that I did something and it had an impact. I knew that he was going to be reading that to his kids. And sometimes you do need to see the differences you make. But if you're out there doing it, don't look for that. Just do it. You'll make the
Well,
difference whether you
actually,
see it or not.
yeah, I want to call myself out because ego is a dangerous thing. And I said, when people take my pictures and they put them on a book cover, and I feel like, man, you couldn't give me a little credit. And you said, I mean, why don't you say what you told me? I mean, it was just absolutely
Well, I'm not
poetic.
sure. I'm not sure what the words were, but
Well,
the sentiment was, what is it? what is the greatest form of flattery is what's the word? I'm missing the word. When you copy somebody, it's the greatest imitation is the greatest form of
Yes.
flattery, right? For someone to think so highly of your image that they're going to use it, you say, that's it. I put something in the world that had enough impact that someone else wanted to use it. What if you got credit for it or not? Why does that make a difference? Now, it makes a difference when you have to pay your BG&E bill. I got that, but let's assume you're at a point where your BG&E bill is paid. After that, just have that impact, man. I have a friend who is a very good artist. She draws all the time, but she also a bit of a compulsive collector. Her house is, all this stuff. She said, I don't paint anymore because I don't have any room to put any of my stuff. I said, you live in San Francisco. What you ought to do is get a bunch of little small canvases, and once a week, once a day, whenever, paint a little thing, leave it against a tree in Golden State Park. Just leave it there. Let somebody find it by accident. Just do it. Just do it. It's a beautiful thing. And so I challenge you with some of your, if somebody takes your stuff, let them take your stuff.
Oh,
You know,
dude,
if they
your
take their
challenge
stuff
is
and they make $5 million off of it, say, hey, do me a favor, pay my next BG bill for me. But other than that, can't get in that world.
no, Sean. I'm telling you, you shifted me that day. I mean, I was in a half shift mode. You just brought it to the other side because I was like, life is so big and it's so many beautiful things. Why would I even spend my time saying someone took a photo? I mean, it's just a small.
Yeah,
It's
man.
a small.
That's the only phone you wrote down. If you were a one-hit wonder and you were trying to still make a living off that song you wrote back in 1979, and you had another song in you, maybe that's a different story. But you got plenty more songs than you, brother.
As do you. So one book, one tree, one child.
That's it.
Talk about your child.
My son Jack is the best. I'll take some credit, but just a good kid. Yeah, it's funny. I have a friend who I was just with yesterday, and their son is in the going into the teens, and she says, "I kind of miss my baby. He's by himself. I kind of miss that." I said, he's going to have to go away before he comes back a little bit because I've got a relationship with my son that is, I miss baby Jack, but I learn things from him all the time. I just learn. My son went to college at the University of Arts in Philadelphia to study music, business, entrepreneurship, and technology.
Wow.
And when in his interview, they asked him, "What do you think you're going to do with this?" He says, "Well, by the time I graduate, all music that's ever been made, ever, will be available for free to everybody."
Hmm.
So my purpose will be to create value between the creation of music and the experience of music. I'm like, wow, what is that, right? And I said, so Jack, if you right now, this is 6 years ago, if you had to focus on one area to create value between the creation of music, experience of music, where would that be? And he said, merchandise. I said, what? He goes, kids my age are going into Urban Outfitters and they're buying the album of their favorite band and they don't even have a record player.
Right.
They just want to be able to hold their band. They want to be part of this thing, right? They want to be part of this thing. And so it turns out he's done a lot of good production work. He's amazing. And keyboard player does everything else. But get back to pay the BG&E bill, right? He was not prepared to go to LA or go to New York and just go all in and forget everything else because he's a well-rounded kid. He has lots of other things to do. He's engaged. He has a house here in Baltimore, 6 miles from us, and he works at McCormick and pulls down that Fortune 500 9 to 5 pay so that on the side he can do all his music and he's having both. So I admire where he is. I love who he is, and I used to be the guy who was teaching him, but I think we've crossed that point where I'm learning more from him every day than he's learning from me, and that's cool.
It is. Um, you know, a child that learns that learning is fun, even if it's on YouTube. I mean, whatever it is. My son is getting questionably and potentially more learning in 3 hours on YouTube than he could learn in a week or two. Yeah.
Now, I will say because there's still the thing about getting that college degree punch. When Jack said he wanted to go to school to study music business, I'm like, we're all about that, but you will graduate. Yeah,
Yeah.
you will. And the first semester, he calls me up from school. He goes, Dad, I all these courses I'm taking, I take them even if I didn't have to take them. I'm like, that's it. A real funny quick story, University of Arts, which sadly is no more because a bunch of knuckleheads mismanaged the finances, and after 100 years, it's no more, which is very sad. But Jack's in a class, and they have to write a paper. It's one of his English classes, but they tie it back into music. You have to write a paper on one of your favorite producers. One of his classmates wrote a paper on Kanye West, and he's presenting the paper, and he says, and Kanye's West first big blow up production that he did was H to the Izzo for Jay-Z. And the teacher says, H to the Izzo, what is that? And all the kids start laughing. Oh, the old man doesn't know what the music's about. And he goes, let's pull that up. And he gets on the computer and it's projected on the screen. Here's a Madison Square Garden concert with Jay-Z. This song H to the Izzo is playing. All the kids are bopping and bopping. And then the guy freeze frames it and says, wait a minute, who's that? Their teacher was the guitar player on Jay-Z's world tour and was just pulling their leg, right? He totally knew who they were. All right, you little young punks, let's sit back down and get ready to learn something, right?
So, what influenced you in music when you were a child?
Oh man,
I mean, you named some of the groups and artists, but what was the biggie?
what was the biggie? Man, I wore Earth, Wind, and Fire's Gratitude album out. That white album, it was a shining star, yearning, learning. That was it. We were down in basement parties doing the bump. I Parliament, Mothership
Damn,
Connection.
I know.
We used to do puppet shows at the Fred B. Lighting. Hallelujah, my name is Casper. We were doing puppet shows to Parliament and Bootsy Collins to third and fourth grade kids when we were fourth and fifth grade kids, right? So I would say Earth, Wind, and Fire and Parliament hit me the hardest and kind of define. If I can't find a bass line, like what is Soul to Soul says, a smiling face, a thumping bass for a loving race. If I can't
So
find that thumping bass, it's not speaking to me.
I totally agree. Just a little sidebar: Bootsy Collins, his son,
I don't know his son.
Uwe,
Hey, come
Uwe,
on now.
Uwe Collins, beautiful singer, beautiful musician, rapper. But
Nice.
it's so interesting to meet the kids that were inspired by their parents.
Yeah. Oh, so a kid's inspired. I got Lisa. But who's the other woman who was in Prince's Purple Rain band? It was Lisa and
I know Lisa. I don't remember the other one
yeah,
actually.
but the two of them. They held down on keys and guitar. Lisa and anyway, the
Was
two of
it the
them.
drummer?
No, she wasn't a drummer.
Because that's not Sheila. You're not talking about
Sheila
Sheila.
E. guest appeared, but she wasn't in the band. It was
Yeah.
Lisa and yes, Wendy, Lisa and Wendy
Wendy,
and Lisa.
yes. Good
So Wendy
job.
and Lisa are being interviewed on a podcast, and apparently both of their fathers were big time musicians. And
Right.
they asked one of them, I'm not sure which one. It doesn't really matter. Says, "You give me an example of some of the things that your father did." And she goes, "Well, you remember the Partridge Family? The Partridge Family, a fake TV band. So,
Yep.
well,
Yep. Yep.
the
Yep.
little girl that played the tambourine." My father was actually the one playing the tambourine. I'm like, he's that. I could do that. Yeah, but my father's this big time musician. He's playing the tambourine on this thing. Is oh yeah, and he also played all percussion on Marvin Gaye's "What's Going On" album.
No kidding.
Like, oh well, there you go.
Well, there
Well,
you go.
there you go. But no, so I didn't grow up with any musicians in my family. So I didn't hear music being played live, but we always had music on, and my mom danced, and we always danced, and we always had dance parties in the basement. It was always about and disco hit, and disco was it. I was in the club every night of the week. Yeah, I come back from the club 2, 3 in the morning, go to high school the next day.
Really? What high
Yeah,
school?
Cardinal Gibbons, which also is no longer around.
I know, and that was a big school. That was the big school in
Yeah,
on the west side,
yeah.
no, the west side of Baltimore. Yeah, Reisterstown Road area, right?
No, not West. It's Wilkins Avenue. It's near
Wilkins
where
Avenue, right?
like where St. Agnes Hospital is. Babe, it used to be a reform school for boys, and Babe Ruth was sent there. That's one of his claims of fame. Shaun
No
Callihan
kidding.
and Babe Ruth.
That's beautiful, man. So, what's next for you, bro?
What's next, man? Next is lunch.
We're going to lunch. Are we going to
No,
meet for
it's
lunch?
fun. You said what's next? Here's my view of time. There's now, there's before now, and there's after now. And that's it. And I spent, well, I said, and the now is like this big. The before now is this big, and the after now is this big. It's whatever's happening now. I'm following up on the Fat Boy Slim thing. My wife and I are both retired. We love. what you're seeing behind us is a ton of board games. Those are our go-to games. We play a game every meal. So we get off this and have lunch. We'll play a board game with my wife and see what happens next, man.
She's doing some amazing art.
She is doing some amazing. My wife, after 30 years in the finance industry and retiring as T. Rowe Price's number one salesman of all time, they refer to her as Sheila B instead of Sheila E because her deals were in the billions. She, during COVID, discovered her muse, man. She has what everyone needs. She has that thing that when you're doing it, time stops. When she's doing her art, it could be 4 hours or 44 hours. She doesn't know. What she does, she decomposes or deconstructs electronics. People drop off old laptops, toasters, anything that plugs in. She takes them apart, which is part of her joy, taking them apart, the nuggets, and then she uses those nuggets to pull back together and make some beautiful things. And I love everything she's doing, and she's doing it to the point where whether you're getting acknowledged for your cover or not, she's not doing them to sell. People have bought her stuff, but she's doing it for herself because it needs to be done. And our walls are getting prettier and prettier every day because
You gonna
of
do
her
a? Is she gonna do an art exhibit?
she's done a few. She's done a few. Yeah, you can check her out on the Sheila Callahan on Instagram. The Sheila Callahan. She's a prolific creative chick, man. She's cool.
Now, I don't normally have people on my show that just paint one of their fingernails purple. So what's up with that?
Ha, you saw that, man. I don't even know. One of my main axes, it's actually a little bit of nasty. It's a little bit of a blood thing under there. I play the Zydeco rub board. So
Yeah.
it's a washboard that's been turned into an instrument. It was designed by Clifton Chenier, and I play it with gloves on with thimbles on each finger. So I'm clackety 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 clack, and I'm sure from a marathon session, this is a rub board injury that hasn't grown out yet. Isn't that crazy? But I don't remember the moment it happened.
Well, you reminded me. I was driving home from an event. I mean, I just got an award as I guess some kind of top media person up in New Jersey. It was iMag magazine, and
Nice.
and on the way back, we were listening to Joaquin Phoenix interviewed by Letterman, where he was like just shut down, like he was not speaking. He was doing a
Hmm.
gag, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things in the show is Joaquin is he's acting like he's out of it, but it was actually a gag. But he points to Letterman. He goes, "What's up with your thumb?" The show is so dry and so non-content. Like if Letterman brought him up and just kept building him,
Yeah.
Joaquin would just say, "Yeah." Like that was the contribution
Well,
Joaquin would make.
strange move, man.
It's probably one of the best Letterman shows because not only the views are around the 8 million range, but Joaquin pulled off a spoof by calling his agent and saying, "Dude, I'm going on the Tonight Show with David Letterman, and I'm going to act like I don't know what's up." And so in that he talks to Letterman. He says, what happened to your thumb?" And the show is so down, like nothing's happening, that becomes a highlight of the show. And so Letterman says, it's a cuticle mishap.
A cuticle mishap. This is a washboard mishap.
And he declares that he's never going to act again. Like he doesn't declare it as an intelligent. Letterman says, "So what is this I hear? You're never going to act again." He goes, "Yeah, I don't know." And he goes, "What are you going to act again or not?" And he says, "I don't know." And he goes, "Well, when will you know if you're not going to act again?" He goes, "I don't know." Like everything is not
Right,
contributing to
right,
the
right,
show,
right.
and it is a crazy ass show. Because when I saw your finger, I couldn't
Yeah,
tell.
too. There you go. Here's the David Letterman. David Letterman, if you're seeing this and you have a small kid in your life you like to read a book to, hit me up. I'll send you one.
I'll tell you, you actually hit the biggest part of what it is to do a book. Actually, I'll see if I can do all three of them. Number one is that you're absolutely passionate and purposeful of why you're doing the book. That's like number
Mm.
one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two
Agreed.
is that you'll commit to making it the best and most beautiful, clear, compelling, and clear, compelling, and what is the last? There's three C's. I told them to you at lunch.
Wow, come on, man. Clear, compelling, and concise.
Concise. Good job. You
Is
remember
that
those?
it?
Yeah. My point is, if you don't do that, you lose the audience in your book. And then the third thing, which is the most important that people don't realize, is the Malcolm Gladwell effect. Are you willing to put 10,000 hours behind the book you think is the best book you could ever do?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you hit 10,000 hours yet, but I'll just say this: you're on your way because you know why you have a great son, sir?
Well, is that?
Because you put the 10,000, 20, 30,000 hours in after you had the baby to say, we're going to grow a son that we love and
Well,
loves us, you know?
I will take some of that credit for sure. I will take some of
Well,
that
it's
credit.
you and your wife. I do agree with you. But my point is that son is amazing because of the amount of love and time and resources that you put for him to be happy.
I'll give you what connect the music thing back to the raising a kids thing real fast. One of the things I think we did well was, you hear this, the dad's a football player, so my son's going to be a football player. Dad's a doctor, my son's going to be a doctor. Whatever. We didn't do any of that with Jack. In fact, when it comes to music, instead of saying, "Hey Jack, check out this song. This is one of your dad's favorite songs," I would play him a song and say, "Hey Jack, what do you think of this song?"
Nice.
4-year-old Jack. Let Jack. He goes, "Well, it kind of sounds like Bob Dylan, but it's got drums like it's James Brown." This is 4-year-old Jack talking because he's creating his own impression of the world.
Mm-hmm.
He's seeing the world. And if we did anything, we allowed Jack to. Our phrase was "Be your own man." We
Yeah.
allowed him to be his own man. And then to how I learned now he's changed that to be your own human, not
Hmm.
just be your own man, be your own human, which is awesome.
When you talk about that particular, I guess, guessing game, I think of Traveling Wilburys. What a gift that group was to come together. I
It,
mean,
it, the ability for great individuals to then collaborate. That's a special kind. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody can do that. Collaborating with others in anything, and whatever it happens to be, is it's a different kind of skill, and it's cool. It's cool.
so I do have a lot more questions, but the the one at the top is your dream band. You are chosen to play the spoons or whatever. I don't care
Oh,
what
that
it
I'm
is.
playing with. Yes.
Yeah,
So,
no,
so
but it's a Traveling Wilburys scenario. Like, and
yeah,
by
you
the
can do
way,
that.
we'll do it live, and we'll do if you could bring them back. We'll do both.
All right, live right now. So as far as musical sensibility, I love Harry Connick Jr., man. I just want to get on that stage with Harry and do that New Orleans thing, right? So
Yeah.
it had to be a dream band. It's just like get up there and do that thing. Um, Lately, there's a group called the Mississippi All Stars. And 10 years ago, a video went viral where the drummer had a washboard that he jacked up with a quarter-inch jack and ran it through a bunch of electric pedals. It's like Hendrix. I'm like, what is it? So the sousaphone player in Naptown Brass Band says, "We got to do that. We got to do that." So I've got a contact mic now that I've connected my washboard. I'm running through all these pedals. I'm still getting my head around it right now. But to be able to play the electric washboard, to play the electric washboard with somebody, you know what I mean? So, whether it's the Stones, whether it's Fatboy Slim, if you listen, we'll put that in the track. But to be just more than the clackety clack, have it actually be a standout instrument, I think that's the next level thing. But only a few people can handle that, man. It's got to be something kind of crazy, right? So Harry's not ready for the electric washboard, but Red Hot Chili Peppers would be.
Yeah, they would. What about the Senators? What was that? Was that group of
The
Senators?
Almighty Senators?
Yeah.
Landis and the Almighty, if they get back together again, they haven't played for a
No,
minute.
but they would dig that.
Yeah, yeah, that could be a cool scene.
Did you
Yeah.
see the new movie with Harry Connick?
I have not. I know about it. In
Yeah.
fact, here's
I,
another plug. Uh, Part of promoting the book is I'm looking, and you participate, you and your son, so thank you. Is I'm trying to set a world record for the longest version of Old MacDonald Had a Farm.
and do we have that on YouTube, right, or something like that?
So you can go to oldmcdonaldchallenge.com, oldmcdonaldchallenge.com.
Challenge.
You can pull that
I'm gonna try it.
oldmcdonaldchallenge.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, hit it.
Okay, we're working on it.
It's going to tie back into Harry Connick because Harry Connick, during COVID, I was in an online group with Harry Connick and we did a lot of stuff. And he says that he's going to do a verse for this using a New Orleans animal called a Nomi. I don't even know what the name, but anyway. And meanwhile, he judged Australian Idol. Then he put a movie out. Then he's on tour. There's a lot of things going on, right? So I haven't been able to nail him down to honor that commitment. But when it does, my goal was that he then puts a New Orleans challenge out to try to get John Baptiste and a couple other people to accept the old McDonald challenge. But the idea is that I need 400 people each singing a unique verse of Old MacDonald. So I have 310 so far.
Well, let's get it to 400.
Horse, cat, dog, they're all gone. So I'm telling people, think like somebody. The last one, friends were in here last night, and these 10 kids did what was it called? A goblin shark. Never even heard of a goblin shark. So think about fish, all different kinds of fish for days. Birds, all different kind of birds, all different kind of dogs. About a specific
Even
kind.
even insects. You can go.
Even insects forever. So when we get to 400, I'm sending the. So here you go. There's the world record. If you click on that video, you don't have to do that, but that video right there is about an hour and a half long right now, and that's a string of all the people who have sent me their videos. If you scroll up a little bit more, here's a list of all the 310 animals in alphabetical order, and then I always keep a list of animals that have not been used yet. So if you feel so inclined, pick one out. Shoot yourself singing "Old MacDonald Had a Farm." Send it to me. I am the great Amundo at gmail.com or
You
clapping
know
my
what I would do if I were
hands.
you?
Hit me.
I would actually put the people in here and have them connected so that they're searchable for this event. For this event.
Here's why I don't. Here's why I don't do that, because a lot of times they're little kids, and parents
Ah,
have the
got it.
right to
Okay.
decide who's on the website. So the only identification, I do need the first and last name, but I don't post it. But when I send it to Guinness for the world record, I need to send them a spreadsheet of everybody who's involved,
Yeah, gotcha. You know
and,
why?
and that's really it.
You know why I couldn't find it right away?
Why's that?
I spell McDonald with MCD.
Old McDonald. I tell you, one thing to look up there if you do, our Wolf was done by Kelly Bell, the Kelly Bell Band, and they went into the studio and they did a version of Wolf that is, they should release it as a single. It is
Oh, hell yeah.
unbelievable. So good. So
Well,
good.
let me give a shout out to Harry. Here's Harry's movie. Really good movie, Finding Me Falling. And
Good.
it says coming off a flop album, and he has a beautiful song he creates in the movie. Just really beautiful song.
He's a talented cat and a
Oh
super nice
man.
guy.
Yeah,
Talented
he
cat
is.
and a super nice guy.
Well, I'm gonna just show off that we were just before the show. I told you I'd seen Eddie Money and
Yeah, yeah,
Toto
yeah.
and Parker Jr. I'm just gonna show somebody that you wouldn't think he's a rocker, but here he is. There he is, Steve
Yeah.
Recaro. And
That's like seeing I recently, not recently, within the last 10 years saw Steve Miller Band.
yeah,
And a friend of mine, Dave Lowe, he looked like Dave Lowe's father, who always wears kind of mom jeans and a flannel check shirt. And I'm like, that's Dave Lowe's father up there, right? And he crushed it. I mean, you think of Steve Miller like with the sunglasses and the long hair, everything musically about. I couldn't get the visual. Now, at the same time, talk about a doubleheader. He was playing with Joe Cocker.
no way.
Now,
No way.
Joe Cocker was just the opposite. Joe Cocker, when he was this scraggly little kid, did not look like his voice.
Hmm.
By the time I saw him when he was playing with Steve Miller Band, he picked up a little weight, had lost most of his hair, had it pulled back in the back, and a little ponytail on the back, and was just wearing all black, and he looked like his voice. He had grown into his voice. And so Steve Miller was the opposite. He did not look like what was happening, but his music was fantastic. Joe Cocker was the whole package. He looked it, sounded it, felt it, amazing.
So I know that music is a universal language. I know that a smile is a universal expression. I know that love is a universal power. And what's
Mm,
interesting is if you put love into music, you get more impact. If you put love into a smile, you get more impact.
absolutely.
And so I just want to share this with you. I know that you are not quite available, but I do want to share that we are celebrating International Smile Day. And this is an 8-minute slot where you get to talk about the power of a smile. And you, of all people, you, of all shows, you bring so much smiles. I mean, you have been concentrating on the fact of what my dissertation was. What is your SPH? What are your smiles per hour? And I got to tell you, on the clap 2 4, you have clapped beyond what I can count to on how many smiles you brought the world.
God, well, cool,
Bro,
cool.
I love you. You're an
Love you
awesome
back,
human
brother.
being. And Baltimore, why Baltimore?
That's where I was born, and I like everything about. I tell people about Baltimore and Maryland in general. We might not have the best of everything, but we have some of everything.
Dude, did you see what happened on the news the other day?
I don't watch the news. I haven't watched the news in 30
Okay,
years,
well,
brother.
I get forced to every once in a while. It's not my choice, but I just want to show you this. This is news because it is positive. Okay,
Hit me.
this news
Hit
can be
me.
positive.
What am I saying? Happiest states ranking. Look at that. Come on, man. Come on.
I mean, when you're behind Hawaii, you're doing good.
No shame in that game.
Do you know?
No
And what's
shame in
what's
that.
funny about it is it says Virginia is 15, and I think Virginia is a happy place too. But I guess there's some places down South Virginia that aren't quite hitting that happy note.
They got to work on that. Got
They
to
got to
work
work
on
it.
that.
But Maryland, I mean, Maryland is an interesting state. I mean, it's like you said, it's got it all.
We got mountains, we got beaches, we got all four seasons. You know, if you can't find something you like, you're not looking.
And I'll say one other thing. we were completely attached to one of the powerhouses of the world in Washington, D.C. I mean, we're connected to that
Hey,
place.
this weekend, and part of why I won't be able to join you for your wonderful smile thing is we're going to New York City this weekend. I live in Maryland. I can drive to New York City.
I know.
I can drive to, I mean, I go to DC to do a gig. We'll do a second line for a wedding in DC and come back and do another one at night in Annapolis. You're right. Yeah. And I kind of look at it as, you know, New York's is the grandparent, and then you step one down, you got Philly. You step one down, you got Baltimore. Right? They all got elements of the same thing. This great mix of cultures clashing together. It's funny. I spent the winter in Mexico City, and one thing that was very obvious was a strong sense of heritage and culture. The nicest people in the world. We loved it down there, and the culture was pervasive, pervasive. And they think, what is American culture? I'm thinking, I don't know. It's because it's so many other things all smashed together. You can say you're the cowboy in the West or whatever, but that's not really it. It's this amorphous thing, and that could be a bad thing because we don't have one thing to lock in on, or it could be a great thing because you don't know. You don't know. I went to a friend's first rice tasting ceremony. So he's Indian. There's 300 people to watch his kid eat rice for the first time.
It
That's awesome, right? That's awesome.
is. That is
So,
awesome.
being in the cultural melting pot that we are here in the Mid Atlantic is an amazing thing to be.
So you've given me a very, very big epiphany. You may even want to put this down in your notebook, and I do
Okay, I'm
appreciate it.
ready. Hit me.
So, back in the day, it was what you know got you where you wanted to go. And then it was who you knew got you
Mm.
where you wanted to go. And then it was who knew you,
You,
which is
you right.
some people think that's it, but it's not. It's who you want to know you is
Mm.
at this point for me the pinnacle. But I got one on top of that just because of you today.
Yeah.
It's the lunch in here. It's that you make such an impact that someone like Fatboy Slim or yourself or someone that's being big in the world, they say, I got time for you.
Mm. Mm.
Because
Mm.
time is something that we can actually get a little BS about. We can say, I'm too busy. I got a lot of stuff going on, but you're never too busy for what's important. And I want to tell you, you've always made me important, but more importantly, you've always made your message, your clap, and humanity important. Your son, and you pick a lot of things to make important, but you're always there, and that's why you're getting the attention of Fat Boy and other people. And I hope that I am playing big enough that I can continue playing big enough that I wake up people like that as well.
Well, the phrase "playing big," I'll challenge that a little bit.
Please do, please
In
do.
that, yeah, so one way to play big is to play small and literally realize we're all people.
Right,
I graduated from the Naval Academy. I saw more admirals on a weekly basis while at the academy than most people see in their entire Navy career.
right,
And you realize they're just people.
right,
They're just people. But if you hold them up as the admiral and like all you can do is salute, say yes sir, and hope that nothing and move past it, then you missed a chance to connect. And so
right.
we have this celebrity and these influencers and these people that are held on this pedestal, like they're somewhere else. And in some metrics, they are somewhere else. But when you have a chance to connect, if you
Right.
treat them as somewhere else, like, I remember on my honeymoon 39 years ago, we're going to Mexico City. I'm on the plane, and Jimmy Carter's on his plane. His whole entourage of secret. He's not president anymore, but his Secret Service. They're in the front of the plane in first class. We're in the back with all the regular people. I guess the first class bathroom was broken or was taken up, but he had to go to the bathroom, had to walk all the way back to the back of the plane. People start shaking his hand. All this old man has to do is go to the back of the plane, go to the bathroom. So he's shaking hands, shaking hands, shaking hands. He gets to me. I said, "That's the last time you decide to go back to this plane." But you can tell he was just like, "I just want to pee," right? And just to recognize him as a human being at that moment. And if we just did more of that, regardless of what level you are, I mean, respect genius, respect all accomplishments, but just respect that you're a human being at that moment.
And
That's the
here's
way you
here's
play
what's
it.
interesting, Sean. And I love you for it because you do challenge me, and you've challenged me in a way that I get more humble or I get an adjustment. But in this particular one, trust me when I say to you, you heard play big from another human, not me. When I say play big, that you're playing big, that you're actually a human.
Right, right.
So I just want to say I acknowledge what you said because there are people that are thinking playing big is being a different version or
Yeah.
that it's not approachable.
If in order to play big, if you have to be different
Yeah.
than yourself, back to bragging on my son, one thing that his pet peeves is people who are a different person at work than they are after
Yep.
work.
Yep.
Show up as yourself. Show up as yourself.
The the ultimate compliment someone who's a heart-centered leader will give another speaker is that they're same off the stage as they are on stage.
Mm, mm,
And another compliment, obviously, is integrity is when you do what you're supposed to do, even when no one's watching. Those are the two
absolutely.
elements. So
Absolutely.
I can't wait to see this book that you write all these notes in. You know
I'll
that,
bring it to the next lunch.
all right, brother. Well, how do people connect with you? I showed the website, but show how do people get to the
Yeah,
website?
I'm clap on the 2 and 4. I used to say clap on the 2 and 4 everywhere, but I'm off of social media. I'm an in real life person. So clap on the 2and4.com. Email is also clap on the 2and 4, and it's the number two. Clap on the 2and 4 at gmail.com. You can hit me that way. And
And since you
in
want to
and
set the
around
world
Baltimore.
record,
What's that?
how do we get to the world record again?
World record could be you go directly to oldmcdonaldchallenge.com, or if you go to clapon2and4.com, there's a tab that's world record. You can get hit there as well. All
And
roads lead to clapon2and4.com.
God bless you. And I want to say the testament of a person that's going to make a difference in the world is they don't stop doing it. You got Kenny and me to do this. I want to say 4 years ago. I'm not sure that's accurate, but it's about 4 years ago. My point is, you're at 310ish, 320, and you're not stopping until the world
Yeah,
record.
well, but let me if I had to bang out 400 this afternoon, I could, but
Right.
I'd be humping, I'd be bugging people, knocking on doors. I wait for everyone is organic.
I know.
It's like this is a cool, high energy person. This person likes to have fun. Let's do this right now. Let's
I
do
know
this
it's a
thing.
it's an honor and a privilege, and it's free will.
Yes, yes.
Oh, I know. When people see blank pages on somebody, they're like, "You don't have somebody." I go, "No, I don't have the right person. I want to
Mm,
show up in the
mm,
world
mm.
that this birthday is about them being a champion of smiles." So anyway, brother, so happy you could be on the show.
My pleasure.
I'm going to David Byrne's wedding with you.
It's already
I'm,
done. Labor's done. When we performed our single together live, we'll get you tickets to the festival. See you at the Electric Daisy Festival or Coachella or Bonnaroo or wherever it's going to be.
all right. God bless you, Shaun. Thank you
Take
so
care.
much. This is Dr. Smiley Show. We amplify goodness, and this is certainly a person you should definitely be part of, appealing and applying for being a record breaker on Old McDonald.
Hey, hey, EIEIO.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, brother.
Cheers.